Suppose we had to write a program where int c equals 10, int b equals 10, and int a equals c plus b, which is what we have here in the comments. So then we print that out with the system.out.println, and let's see what we get. Okay, and this is a Java application. Hello guys, and I'm going to be showing you how you can make your own code that actually works and isn't just kind of something that we had before. What we had before was probably what a person new to Java would do, and I'm going to show you the correct way with all the proper syntaxing. So let's get on. So, oops. We have two different things to worry about mainly. We have the main method, which is this, and we also have the class, which is this. So these are the two main things that we have to worry about. And I'm going to be showing you an easy way on how to always memorize to use them. So it's supposed to go to a restaurant and we can make our own meal. So we can first name it. I wanted to call it Anubhav's meal. And for appetizer, I would just like some chips. And I want 2 main courses. I want a sandwich and 1 pizza. And then for dessert, I just want a little ice cream. So first, the waitress would come to you asking you for appetizers. You would tell the waitress that you want some chips. Actually, let's start all the way from the beginning. We start with Anubhav's meal. We make it. The waitress asks you what you want for your appetizer. You say you want chips. You get your chips, and then you ask for your main course. You ask for a sandwich and a pizza, and you want and the waitress wants you to ask you what kind of sandwich you want. You say you want all these specifications. You want chicken 1 pound, lettuce, normal bread, and cheese 2 grams and melted, and pizza should have a thin crust, and it should have 4 grams of melted cheese. And finally, for dessert, all you want is ice cream. So then, let's put this in Java words. So in Java, we would write this differently. Of course, we can't just put this in a program and expect it to work. So Anubhav's meal, this thing right here, would be your class. That would be your class name. This right here. So we can make a class, and that's when you kind of like going into the restaurant, you're making your own meal, like you're ordering your meal, but you have to actually like tell the name of the meal. So that's what a class is for. That's what this Anubhav meals is for. And then we can also order an appetizer. So these would be some extra variables that will be used for debugging or later on in different classes if you import and stuff. Your main course would be your main method. As you can see, like the main. I'm going to import all the important. Whoops. Okay. The main method here from the main name. I'm going to highlight anything that's actually in Java in blue. So Anubhav's meal would be the class. These are pretty rare. So let's write that rare. Those are rare. Whoops. Yeah, rare. And these are also pretty rare, these right here. These are for debugging and stuff. Anything that's not in the main method in the end is usually used for debugging. So then these would be like, suppose your for loops and your if loops and all those. But now let's think what you would actually do in a restaurant. You would tell the waitress. So here, when you tell the waitress you want your sandwich, the waitress would be something we call the Java compiler, or Java C. The compiler, its job is very, very important. So what it does is it takes the code that we wrote, usually in English or whatever language your like typing thing is. It takes that code and converts it into bytecode, which the JVM, the Java Virtual Machine, the thing that does all the thinking, then processes. So that's the main course here. So the JVM, it takes this main method and it, how do I say it? It runs it. It starts the program, the main method. So runs it. So that's why we have the main method, so it can run, and it's also like the bulk of the code. So usually sometimes the only part of the code. So now let's see how we would write this in an actual Java statement. So here we have a public class. Now I want to tell you the difference between just having a class and a public class. And I want to use my meal. Suppose someone really liked my meal and they wanted to actually eat it. Instead of making their own, they wanted to use mine. So that's kind of where objects play in hand. They wanted the exact ingredients. They just wanted, like, suppose they didn't want 2 grams of cheese. Suppose they wanted 8 grams of cheese. So that's kind of where objects play in hand. So to let someone, another class use it, or someone else use my meal ideas, I would have to put a public here. So it's kind of simple to think why. Well, if it's just a class, no one else can use it. It's basically automatically or default, it becomes private. But when we put a public, other people can use it. It's open to the public. And here also, this has to be a public static void, or else this wouldn't be a proper main. And really, this is the main method right here. You just have to memorize this. So you're never going to have to change it unless you're a freaking genius. And you're not going to ever have to do this or anything like that. This will always stay as it is. Again, unless you're a freaking genius or something. So I really don't get why it would be that hard to memorize. This is just like a sentence. I mean, we've memorized almost like a lot of words in our life. Why can't we memorize a sentence? So like we should be able to memorize this pretty quickly, and we just put a public class. I named this class A because we're finding the value of A. So really this would be the code. We have no debugging to do or no ants that might misconceive us. So we just go straight into main method. We get int c equals 10, int b equals 10, int a equals b plus c. So that part was correct, except that. So like in last video, everything was correct except these 2 lines were missing and these 2 parentheses were missing. Along with that, I also want to tell you something called tabbing, which I also showed here. As you can see, Anubhav's meal is the main thing. So let's think about it as this. The meal is supposed to square, so it highlights all of these. But the appetizer, only covers this much. The main course covers this much. And the dessert covers this much. So you should think about this. Anything that's inside another thing should be tabbed 1. So chips is inside of appetizer. Well, no, let's start with this. First you have Anubhav's meal. No, it's inside of nothing. That's the first line of code that we ever see. So that'll be all the way at the beginning of this line, like the starter line. Then the appetizer is a part of main meal, so we're going to tab that once to have it here. Same with main course, it's a part of my meal, tab dessert. If a dessert was part of my main course, it would be here. But dessert is obviously not part of your main course. So now chips is a part of my appetizer, so again we tab it once. Sandwich is part of my main course, so we tab it once. Pizza is part of my main course, so we tab it once. And ice cream is part of my dessert, so we tab it once. But once, and then, yeah, really that's all. And then sandwich, these are all parts of my sandwich, and these are all parts of my pizza, so that's why we tab it once again. So then we're left with this, which can turn into this, because again, it contains everything. There's nothing else, so we tab this none, tab this once, tab this twice, because first it's inside of here. First it's inside of here, so that's one tab, and then it's inside of here, so that's two tabs. So same with this, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then parentheses should start where it started. So this is the main method. It starts here and it ends here. So this should be lined up with the first letter of public, and same with this. So really all we do is copy this code. We can put it in Java, and I'll see you when I try it again. Hello guys, and I'm going to be showing you the last part of my video where I'm going to show you how, when I actually run the program. So I have the exact same code from last time. In fact, I'll just put it again. The only error I came up with is that for some reason the quotation marks don't render properly. Whoopsies. There. And there. So now everything is good, and we can just go ahead and run this. We get the value of A is 20, which is correct since B is 10 and C is 10, which equal 20. So hope I see you in the next video, and have fun doing Java.